the shotgun start in golf is full of mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
And here we go.
Hey. All right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is January 19th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, it's Victory Monday here. You know, we're just elated, overcome with emotion as we see Vijay Singh sticking it to you and PJ, making the first cut of the year.
Happy for Vijay. I guess we'll take our Victory Mondays where we can get them right now. This is our first live show in a while. We're going live, Holiday Monday live, Sunday night. We were otherwise occupied watching football, and just punted. You're enjoying the 3-day weekend. I've got kids running all over the place. So we're going live here Monday. We'll be in the feed shortly. It's not Victory Monday for your Bears. We can do that later. We can do that now. A thrilling Sunday night game, not the outcome I personally wanted as an impartial observer, probably not the outcome you wanted as a very partial observer.
Yeah, it was a great game. I mean, it was the defense showed up. It was a bummer. It was a bummer at the end. You want your guys giving a full effort. Didn't seem like one of our guys gave a full effort. Now he might have been concussed earlier in the game, but
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore not running the route in overtime's a tough look. So anyways, we go into the off season, but we are we're enthused. I'm over the moon. It was a great year. Unexpected. When we add Max Crosby to the team in the off season, as it seems like we're about to, we'll be back next year. We'll be better than ever too. I mean, it was a fun year. So we can talk more about it, but later. But it was one of those where it's just like nice to be back, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Now in the NFL, you never know how long you're going to be back for.
Yeah, I might caution you on that,
but it certainly seems like with our coach and quarterback, this is and then the young receivers we got and running backs, and it seems like we're going to be around.
Good. It was amazing how Collinsworth was immediately on that DJ Moore thing, and then like the Twitter analysts and real people could follow up. It's kind of interesting, reframing the narrative that Caleb blew the game, or I don't know. It was interesting. It was a fun watch. I think the NFL like kind of has a stinky conference championship weekend set up, and from all the outcomes, Bears and Bills I thought were the two best stories. Like we're allowed to like say the games were good, the two of them. And like we're allowed to like say the NFL isn't always like the greatest thing ever. I don't think it's like a great setup, and you have backup quarterback. I don't know. Anyways.
I guess the one thing golf doesn't have, we complain a lot about TIO and lift clean place. They don't have two different catch rules, where in one game it's an interception, one game it's a catch, same exact play. It's amazing how that always happens to the NFL.
Yeah, it's like they're the same picture, but they're not. The same outcome. Yeah, that does happen pretty frequently.
And I thought Devontae Adams made the catch. I thought
he was down.
I thought the guy in the Bills game made the catch. It wasn't an interception in either place, but in both games you got different outcomes. Of course, for the Bears, that was the thing with the Bears in the postseason. You saw the bounces go against them a little bit, where we generated the turnover but didn't capitalize on the turnover. And I think that's just as PJ would call it, the regression monster. But
when we got to hit one more thing, when he threw that ball to Komet, launched it. I mean, that we had a bunch of kids sleeping over. My kids had friends over, and we were all on the couch lined up together, and we're not. I think that they all they're Gonzaga kids. They're rooting for Caleb, so they wanted Caleb. And I like screamed at me. I was like, "Oh my God!" Like screamed at the TV. One of the great all-time plays. Like better than a Hail Mary. I feel like just because there was some skill involved.
Sprinting backwards and threw the ball up in the air.
Yeah. And he did, like, according to like the analysis or his quotes, like he saw that corner was 1-on-1 and everybody else was over here, and he just like there was skill and analysis more than a Hail Mary. It was more than a Hail Mary involved there. It's one of the great all-time NFL plays. I screamed off my couch at the TV. I don't know what your reaction was on that.
I was similar. As he started to run back, I was like, "Oh no, we've seen this story, never completed. Like seen this story before." They completed it. I was with my wife and daughter. My wife was casually watching the game, but at that point was doing something else. My daughter was playing, and I screamed, and I just absolutely they were terrified.
Yeah, I bet. It's one of it's a different discussion. What are like the greatest plays or golf shots in a loss that end up being in a loss? Like I mean, this one will make you happy. Like Rajai Davis somehow connecting on a 103-mile-per-hour Roldis Chapman heater to like tie the game in the bottom of the ninth, but that doesn't kind of mean it at the end. I mean, it's up there. It's up there. So you could think I'm trying to get golf shots off the top of my head, but it's a fun conversation, maybe for some, but some instances, not others.
It wouldn't be Victor Hovland's bunker shot on 16 at Oak Hill. It'd be the opposite of that.
The opposite of that. The opposite of that. I'm sure there's a bunch from the Masters.
We should think about that maybe for next year.
Yeah,
next episode.
Yeah, let's try and do that. All right,
got down like a list of 10 great shots that fell short in golf, because that is a great comp.
Yeah, it has to be like you were in the top 5 at the time but didn't win. Can't be just a hole-in-one on a guy in the first group out on Sunday. So we'll do that maybe next time. All right. RIP the Bears season and RIP the opening drive. This may be the end of it. The long history, illustrious history of the opening drive. 1 week here in 2026. The Sony Open comes to a conclusion with Chris Gotterup.
The PGA Tour's top FedEx Cup performers will arrive in Maui at Kapalua Resort's iconic plantation course to play the Century and start the opening drive of our 2025 season.
I think that one's going to be retired after that.
We're not going to get a Brian Rolap essay. We're talking about the opening drive in future seasons. Doesn't seem like it. The vibes were, it was a great golf tournament. It was, I wrote 2 weeks ago, like, we don't have to get rid of this. I get that there's probably a good theory and business reason why, but it does seem cherished in a way. And we had a great golf tournament. It wasn't the most dramatic thing. I was watching crazy. Instead of Bears Rams, LeBron Instagram storying Gotterup and the Sony Open action. Kind of insane. But it was a good golf tournament.
The swing's getting better.
It is. It is, or maybe he's only posting the good ones, but the one he posted was pretty much better, significantly better.
Yeah, getting better. He's not. I don't think he's really grinding. I think he's kind of checked out
on basketball or golf. Basketball. Yeah. So the opening drive, good tournament, good golf tournament, and a great winner, I think.
Yeah, I came down from my my Bears with watching my DVR'd Sony Open, and I was as someone who's been, I guess the gamblers would call it touting Chris Gotterup this offseason.
Touting.
I think I started touting him in the fall with the on the Fried Egg Pod about players to watch, but I said I think I said I wouldn't be shocked to see this guy in the top 10 in the world golf rankings, and he seemed to take his first step there. I gotta say the driver is just, and we saw it on the back nine in particular. Now the wedge play, that leaves a lot to be desired.
Like approach wedge play.
Yeah,
approach wedge play.
The approach wedge play. That was kind of a tough scene as he just drove it around these dog legs up to like 60 yards and then hit it to 25 feet.
Yes.
Like over and over again. It's like, oh, well, I think we can clean up some. In a lot of cases, the wedge play is tricky, for a high speed player, especially taking a little off the fastball. And he said he looked at I guess the stats this off season and saw that he was just, really bad from 100 to 150, and he worked on that a ton, as well as 9 feet to 20 feet, and it was great to see. But you see what the guy can do off the tee, and just absolutely dismantled Waialae this week with, this has always been talked about as like a precision course, course anybody can compete at. Not a lot of guys can compete when one of the best drivers of the golf ball in the world is hitting drives like he was hitting on Sunday.
And I think the variety with the driver, it was probably the most impressive for me. Like, there's a lot of guys you can pluck off the conveyor belt that can hit some speed. And I mean, of course, you still got to be accurate. But where I thought he differentiated himself was certainly on Sundays. We heard about the winds, right? And he's won a Scottish Open. He's won a Myrtle Beach. We heard the wind was coming after by Thursday afternoon. And then we did have a lot of 30, 35 mile an hour winds over the course of the final 3 days. And I know this happens with some frequency, but you don't see it very much anymore. He hit driver, 59 feet in the air, 60 feet in the air. And then he hit it, 125 feet in the air for 365 yards down the, 10 and 12, I think were the two that kind of into the wind. And he's hitting like a real punch bullet, like rocket, low one that's like 60 feet. We saw him hit the stinger in the stinger hole at TGL. Stinger. So we know. And then 18, he pulls out the driving or the iron and flights it down again. And the mix of trajectories with the driver is just something a little bit different, right? And a little bit worthy of a little bit extra praise than the guy who's just going 190 and hitting it 365. He did do that on a few occasions when maybe he was downwind or wanted to go up and over the corner, but there was also that mix of trajectories, and that's why he led the field strokes gained off the
yeah. I would second that. The trajectories were alarming. Like I like not alarming in a good way.
Yeah.
I was I was watching, and I had written down in particular the one on 10. They kind of talked about like how, we're changing. This is playing really into the wind. This is a tough tee shot. This guy just peels a bullet, right out of and it was kind of one of those like, I wasn't sure that was in the bag on just like on ready to go Sunday on a back nine trying to win a golf tournament. The other piece of this is Davis Riley exited stage left. It looked like after the start, Davis Riley's going to, kind of cruise and literally kind of just melted down on early on Sunday and which allowed, Chris Gotterup, who played a phenomenal round of golf, to kind of waltz to the victory on the back nine.
Yeah, he goes bogey, double. Riley hit it, tried to cut too much off the dog leg, hits a tree, bounces into like a drainage canal kind of thing, makes a double at 8. And he was kind of out of it, which left Gotterup really with the multi-shot cushion, as long as he didn't really do something else, similar, spit the bit. I really like this guy. You called him, you touted him as a player. I think, he was a guy who was in line. He was a course fit for Bethpage, which means he's a bomber. He wheels it away. But now we've seen him win a Scottish Open. We've seen him win a course where, and of course, like the misconception is Colonial, and Lamagna wrote about this. Colonial is a good course fit, like a similar. It can allow a Kevin Kisner type or a Kevin Na or Davis Riley in this instance to play. But it doesn't eliminate the bomber. It doesn't mean like they are all of a sudden cannot operate in these circumstances. It just brings the other guys into play. And so I think the impressive thing we've seen about Gotterup is where he's done it, and also like he is a course fit for Bethpage too. Like that kind of variety and that kind of adaptability is super impressive.
Yeah, I mean, this guy.
Here's a guy.
Here's a guy. This guy. I'll tell you what, Mike. God, Bears fans are so sensitive about announcers.
What did he?
They're all mad about Chris Collinsworth. Like, it's
what did he
like,
say?
I
About
mean,
who?
these
Everything?
people hold. It's like, oh, we can't critique any player. We can't critique Caleb Williams. It's like, well, I think like he would admit, it's the same thing happens in golf, though. You critique
yeah.
anybody, and
You're a
people are like,
hater.
why do you hate this person?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Gotterup, though, like he always took a little while to set in. It took him a while to figure it out in college. And this is a guy, he didn't just jump up into the tour. Like, he was 23rd in Korn Ferry Tour points. He had he won his first year, but outside of the win, it was really not great.
Yeah.
Last year, the first half of the year, pretty shaky still. And then that second half of the year, he really came on, and it feels like he's comfortable where he is. And, when you talk about the wins, this win was, I don't think it was anywhere near as impressive as the Scottish Open, but I keep going back to the Scottish Open where he's playing, he's going up against Rory McIlroy, who's in the final group, and he outplayed him. And I don't think that many young players can generally do that in that situation. Rory, was playing well, and he couldn't. Gotterup kind of just he threw the punches that knocked out Rory, and I think this is it's just kind of like a harbinger. He's got stuff to work on. He's got growth, but I think one of the things that I'm impressed with is this is a guy that seems to put in the work, that seems to be constantly improving, but he also has that edge. I think there's like an like he's got this supreme confidence. You can see it after winning. Like, he expects to do this. Yeah. And I think that's a big part of young players' growth. He's 26.
Yep.
He's got 3 wins, and it's super impressive stuff. And he's got more wins than on tour than Ludwig. He's the same age.
Yeah, I mean, winning's not. It's not easy. That's an obvious statement. They posted some graphic about like most wins since the start of 2023, I guess it would have been, or 2024, and he joins the 3-win. It obviously just eliminated that Scotty and Rory are in different classes, and Scotty's in an even different class. It's like 13 wins, 5 wins, and then Hideki has 3, Xander has 3, and now Gotterup has 3. It just kind of, I don't know, for me, reinforced Scotty and Rory in an era that winning's hard, have separated. But maybe Gotterup, I'm not saying he's going to be Rory or any of those guys, but he does seem to get himself across the line in a way that not all the best young guys can. Listening to him though, I really enjoy, like, he's like a mix of like what you said, edge. He got emotional again. Like, he's like a real human being. He got really emotional with Savaricas talking about his team and people behind him. Then he seems to have like a pretty smart golf brain. He goes like 16 and 18 were not built for me, but I had to, quote, find a golf shot. I have to find a golf shot, which like speaks to me as more like he's not just some automaton, not a total robot. I just got to go out and find a shot. We see that with the flighting some of these irons down, even though he's, trying to figure out those approach wedges. So it's just like, and then like on Twitter, his bit of posting like the "bring me my money" clip. Like, he just seems like an enjoy. We never really know these guys. Maybe this guy could be a jerk or something, but he seems like a good mix of funny and like emotional and like a smart golf brain. And that's what the tour could use. Credit to more. He's a credit to the tour. They could use a few more guys like that. So anyways, great off the tee. Go ahead. You want to jump in?
I was just going to ask, what else do you have from the Sony? Any observations?
Vijay makes the cut. Spieth top 25.
Oh, I'm glad you guys are counting their Spieth
top 25. He's right back on the horse. He said, quote, "I got to trim the fat." It was close. We're close.
He could have trimmed the fat by playing this fall and trying to play his way into signature events.
I mean, he's got like 20 kids now. He wants to be home with the kids and take a real break. So he's a top 25. He doesn't know when he's going to play next, he said. Morikawa MCs. I don't know if we're like at panic time, sound the alarm, where we're at, but not a good start to the year.
something I think about with this is like we're looking at we had 8 weeks off roughly from RSM to here.
Yeah.
What trends from last year that were maybe smaller trends are going to play out this year again? I personally am looking forward to seeing Patrick Waugh out congratulating his son in the winner's circle. That was something that I took away from this is Kevin Roy was in the mix a lot last year.
Yeah.
Didn't get it done, but it feels like, okay, he immediately gets back in the mix. And similarly, like Gotterup is like a carryover from last year where you saw this ascent of a player in the back half of last year, and then he comes right out and wins. That was something to me that stood out. Obviously, Ryan Gerard continues his really hot play.
Gambling pod. Believe I had that one and done. We're on the board. The board.
How about that?
I missed on Vijay, but I might have got Ryan Gerard. Yeah, he's hot.
And the bridge, like you start to see these themes. Like, is the bridge man a top 40 player in the world? I think he might be.
Yeah, sure. I won't quibble.
Guy is always there.
He does post a lot. Yeah, good start to the year. Vijay warming up for Waialae. We're kind of this week's kind of loaded. We'll talk more about it Wednesday.
I've got a question for you and PJ.
Okay.
Are we sure that Vijay's return is less about playing the PGA Tour and more about intimidating future Champions Tour players such as like Zach Johnson this week, where he's saying basically he played Sony to say to Zach, listen, I know you think you're coming up here and dominating, but I just want you to feel my presence down here, so you know what you're getting into up on the Champions Tour.
I like how you said down here, as if that's the minor leagues that Vijay's going to dominate right now. I will say Vijay 12-1 this week. I think
where are these Champions Tour odds? What is that?
They're on the internet. Might be live. Are you taking Vijay over under 23rd in the Schwab Cup? Do you think he gets better by playing the normal tour?
He seems motivated.
I don't know if this what this says about golf. Like, if he comes down and consistently makes cuts, what are we supposed to think?
I love that he thanked his doctors and rehab team. He had like the worst. He had a hip, a knee, and an elbow. It was like three things that he just like don't want, like nagging him and like he's crippled. And he just comes back, and that's what he's doing. He's
comes back in the Hokas, making cuts. That's all it takes, man.
Is this a big indictment of the Champions Tour that there isn't enough there to satisfy his, thirst for playing?
I don't think it's an indictment. I mean, you look at a guy like Bernie. It quenches the competitive fire of one of the most competitive people I think we've ever seen. So, I'm just happy that Zach got a look, like you said. I like that. I think we should run with that.
Love it.
More on like just the theme
Sony
of last year. You just have Big Shot Bob, Harry Hall, another player that was in the mix that's been just all over these tournaments. And then obviously like Ben Griffin was there, and I think like that's kind of when I think about these is like golf is so different than sports where like these seasons kind of bleed together and where people find it and they can go on these runs of, sometimes it's 3 weeks, sometimes it's 6 weeks, sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes, in great cases you go on a 2-year run. And then obviously you have the great players who just are at a different level. I think that's one of the, as we start to, look at who's going to be the next players, we'll call it 12 through 32 on the PGA Tour in the next 5 years. these are the events that you're going to start to find them. And over the course of a couple years, their performances where you start to kind of tie them together. Who are those players? And I think there's like, I think there's a number of like really interesting prospects. I'd be curious what the ceiling on Gotterup is. He obviously has some deficiencies, but that driver is something else.
Yeah, I enjoyed Big Shot Bob. He would have won, but he broke his putter on Friday after he missed a putt. He said, quote, "At the end of the day, my attitude cost me this golf tournament, and I can't be allowing that." He shot 63 on Sunday. I mean, kind of takes the agency out of other people. Like, if it wasn't for his attitude, he would have won. I don't know. I guess Chris Gotterup also played. I don't know. There's some other guys in it, but he's back. He's back. I mean, he's back, right? He's a top 10 player in the world right now.
What's his premise of he would have won?
He broke his putter in the
moment of with anger. The other putter.
I'm just reading the quotes. I found it somewhat amusing and presumptuous. So
I got another question for you.
Please, we're here to answer your questions.
What do you think the general American public would think of Big Shot Bob if he didn't have the Scottish accent?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this.
He's distinguished and unique because he's Scottish. But I think there's some stuff he does that makes you wonder, like, would he be beloved if he wasn't Scottish? That's my question.
I get where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this, and I like it. I haven't considered it until right now.
Where are we going? That he would just be considered some like bratty American?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that's a terrible take, and I love Bob.
Bob from Oban?
You love Bob because he's Scottish, and you're like, oh, look at this guy from Scotland. But if you look at the individual actions across the board, like that's a preposterous statement to be like, I would have won this tournament if I didn't break my putter. Well, you broke your putter. I'm sorry. You broke it, and then you also shot 67, 63 on the weekend without it. You shot 130 without it.
And there's other guys in the tournament playing their golf ball. I mean, that are good. I don't know. It's just a little presumptuous. Yeah, it's an interesting theory. We might hear from people across the pond not happy with it.
We are going to hear from people. There's a lot of
I like Bob. I don't mind
buyers. I like Bob too.
It's a pro Bob podcast, but we're not above calling balls and strikes. All right.
I mean, honestly, if Wyndham Clark broke his putter and then said that,
my attitude cost
you'd be going insane. You'd be off the top rope, but you're protecting Bob here.
No, I brought it up. I wouldn't have ever talked about it. I immediately put it in the notes, and we are taking full account of it here. Maybe I would have been had a little more edge to me about it. I don't know. All right. One thing you could take.
I just don't think he's that far from Wyndham.
Oh God. He's a classy guy. He was clapping for JJ Spawn in the Oakmont clubhouse when the bomb went in, the putt went in. He's just a small town Oban guy. He loves to go home.
You're exactly making my point. This is the first place you go.
Lefty. Everybody loves a lefty. Hit the far. Yeah. Oh God. All right. Go to the Friday Pro Shop. I'm taking a hard turn. I have no good segue from Bob shaming to go to the Pro Shop. We have a sale right now. The code is winter sale, all caps, one word, winter sale. It gets you 15% off, and if you spend $150 or more, you get a free mystery hat. Sounds like an excuse to get rid of the hats we can't sell. Just throw some junk in the box. I'm joking. You get a free mystery hat when you spend $150 more, or $150. The sale runs through Monday. That's today, 1/19. So you got another 15 hours here. The code is winter sale, all caps, gets you 15% off and a mystery hat if you spend $150. So run to the proshop.thefriday.com. Check that out. Got prints. Prints are always a winner.
Prints are always a winner. You can always dress up dress up a room with one.
I
I took the drone out and took a picture this weekend that we might be putting up in our house. It's not of a golf course. It's of land that could make a really cool golf course. But
How often do you do that? Take the drone up for non-golf course photography reasons?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
It's mostly a novelty to, get my daughter excited.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, show off.
Go fly the plane.
Fly. That's cool. That's good.
But
good.
yeah, it was up in Northern California this weekend. Northern California. Beautiful place. Would recommend. Not really a golf destination, but a
life vacation destination.
Yeah, I would say if you enjoy outdoors, and I would, what I appreciate about here is I don't really like the commercialization and kind of the it's almost like I guess like what Monterey and that peninsula has become, where it's just like everybody, everywhere you turn, they're just like taking money out of your pocket. It's not like the place, I went to Mendocino this weekend. It was my wife's birthday. And it's spectacular up here. It's kind of like gives you everything that Monterey gives you, but with a, tenth, maybe even less of the people. And it's kind of it's a very delight, and it's a lot cheaper, obviously.
Nice.
I would recommend it to people. I don't want to blow up everybody's spot here.
I know. Now you're putting a spotlight on it.
Well, if 200 people from this podcast listening to this podcast book a trip to Mendocino, I don't think it's going to really make a sizable impact on the tourism world here.
We're going to start putting up Applebee's in the main strip and the Olive Garden and commercialize it. I don't think that'll happen. I have a big flight credit I got to use for my wife, mostly between like now and basically mid-February. I'm trying to find different spots, probably somewhere warm, but we
caught this on just like the most epic weather weekend too. It was incredible.
Good.
I would highly recommend. World-class hiking, good restaurants. I wouldn't, there's some really good restaurants and cool kind of town to kick it around in.
Yeah, lack of commercialization, kind of some real soul, originality. Sounds just like Dubai, where the Euro Tour was this weekend, and that's where Nacho Elvira won the Dubai Invitational, beating Shane Lowry, the Bullet, Marcus Armitage, Rory McIlroy, David Puig. A good leaderboard. I think there were 5 guys tied top the leaderboard on the back 9 at one point. Lowry was, of course, 1 up going down the last and hits it in a back left bunker, hits it out of the bunker across the green into a hazard. Amusingly, they keep not for Shane, but David Cannon, the great photographer, was right there. And it's just looking quizzically as the ball trickles into the water. It's like his face. It's just his giant face. It doesn't have a big head, but his face is like the primary focus of the shot as the ball trickles in, usually on the other side of the lens. So he doubles the last. Rory,
the biggest story of this is?
What's that?
He talked to the media after making the double to lose the tournament.
Little gregarious about it too. He's like, it's nuts. Golf is nuts. That's it, lads. It'll crush you. It'll reward you. I hit a wedge too far on the over clubbed it. Hit a wedge too far.
This feels like a victory Monday for the podcast because of Nacho, our guy, getting it done.
Nacho, he was just incredulous. He's like, I everything from here on out is gravy. I've made my golf life. Rory, meanwhile, like opposite ends of the spectrum, like would have essentially accidental win if he had won. He's like, I wasn't really trying to win. I was practicing driver off the tee, essentially. I was just trying to piece it together. Kind of the opposite. Nacho, which is like, this is it. Everything after here is gravy. And Rory sort of like just, I wouldn't say dry run for this week, but he said I wasn't trying to win this golf tournament necessarily. Congrats to Nacho. Congrats to Shane for talking to the media after a heart-wrenching double to finish. What else do you have from Dubai? Anything else?
I mean, I think this is just a warm-up tournament to be completely honest, for next week.
It's a small invitational field, and then this is the big Rolex event, Dubai Desert Classic.
I mean, the leaderboard's pretty incredible. You got Rory and Lowry, but then you got the Bullet, the Gentleman, and Fratelli rounded, and Thirsty Boy rounded out the top 10. Big Twan.
It was hard. It's a hard golf course. I mean, it's windy. Everybody, I don't know what's going on with that 18th hole. I mean, it's water left, rough right, bunkers, and a small green. Very narrow. Like, it wasn't like Lowry's ball, like he bladed it through. Like, it's just narrow, not a lot of room, and everybody seems to double or bogey that last hole.
Well, so he was saying is like, if he had hit the hard, I think he was between a wedge and a 9-iron on his second shot.
Yep.
And if he hits the hard wedge, the issue is that you worry about spin, and that same little hill that trundled his bunker shot down into the water catches the spinning wedge, and he ends up in the water. And I don't know, that it's a good finishing hole in that sense of like coming down the line, and that's a shot you don't want to have to hit a soft 9-iron under the gun. One of the easiest things if you're under the gun is knowing like, hey, if I hit this iron, I don't have to worry about long, and I'm not worried about short. That's like kind of what your dream scenario is when you're coming down the stretch, is feeling like you have a club that you can't miss long with. But in that sense, with the creek there, it's you gotta hit it hard and everything. What other, it feels like the masses are circling around your guy, Angel Ayora.
I know. I may need to get off. It may be too crowded, the bandwagon. But I
think the pivots seem, who he finished tied for 13.
or Piss Bear, the gentleman in the Middle East, another top 10 for the Piss Bear. He's in the Dubai Desert Classic. We got DJ. We'll talk much more about this. Blockie's back. We got a good week of golf coming ahead. I think that's it for DP World Tour this week. Good intro to coffee golf. Good reintroduction to 2026. And the Latin America Amateur Championship. The big boy, a Mid-Am. A win for Mid-Am's
25-year-old.
25-year-old. I think we went to Arkansas. Matteo Pulcini. He's 175 in the world amateur golf ranking before this week. Had come close, top 10s, and I believe the prior to Latin America Amateur. Another Argentine, I believe the third Argentine to win this championship. A burly boy, we'll just say that. I believe Rich Lerner at one point shouted, how about a big old Argentine slab of beef, after he rolled in a lengthy putt on ESPN. This was a good watch. But Matteo Pulcini wins the Latin American Amateur Championship, going to the Masters, Shinnecock U.S. Open, and Birkdale, the Open Championship. A good kind of counter-programming amateur championship with the Sony going on later in the day.
Kind of the sign that the Masters is not that far away.
It is. I think it's like 75 days or something. It's not that far. I'm excited. Pulcini, that was great. Great visage of him like wailing away, getting around the green, getting around the Peru, Lima.
That's kind of
big boy.
Cool scene with the golf course right in the city.
The high rises all around and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's what this championship should be, right? Is like go to a major metro area in South America, Latin America, and try to get a few people into it or spotlight cool golf location. I just don't want it to always go to a resort like in the Dominican, or a resort in Mexico, or what I mean, like some variety is kind of welcome there. And so that was a cool scene. Love Pulcini,
oldest winner of the tournament.
Yeah, what's about 15 years old, probably, the Latin America Amateur.
No, 2015.
Really? 10 years.
I guess
okay, 11.
It's kind of crazy. It's 11 years.
The Asia one's a few years older than that. So, all right, that does it for results from the weekend. Let's get to news. News will just be a mix of comments. Blockie wants Tiger. DJ.
This is
Blockie,
insane.
We're 19 days into the year, and Blockie's all over the place.
Can we just like? Can we just say enough's enough?
Blockie is putting up numbers on Don's head right now. 19 days into 2026.
This is from Bunkered. Quote, I had never even thought about that in my life, but I literally had dreams about me coming down the stretch at a tournament against Tiger. He wants Champions Tour exemptions and wants to compete against Tiger Woods.
Can we just... I know I've done this before. Can we hit pause here?
Uh-oh, I froze. You good? All right.
We just were hitting pause.
Okay.
You didn't freeze.
Okay.
The whole thing got paused.
This man who's asking, I want Tiger. And somebody's writing a story about a man saying, I want Tiger. He's a nice man. I've met him. I've played golf with him. He's a nice guy. I want Tiger. He's played in 34 PGA Tour events.
We'll play this week at the Amex.
He's made 5 cuts.
Okay.
5 cuts in 34 events. And somebody is even giving him the oxygen. I think it's insane. In newspaper society, which I'll go back to, and I don't mean to be like in newspaper society, nobody would even know who this guy is. There would never be a microphone.
He had a documentary made about the miracle at Oak Hill. He had a documentary made.
Somebody would have written up Oak Hill in Sports
Nobody
Illustrated.
would have written this up, though.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't have a microphone in front of him. He would have been gone.
He just wants to come down the stretch against Tiger. I'm not saying he wants Tiger in the rain necessarily. He's going to body bag him. He just wants this opportunity at wherever.
Are you taking Blockie and one and done this week, Andy?
No, I'm not. It's just the guy has made a cut in 1/7 of the PGA Tour events that he's played in, and someone's seriously writing up a story about him wanting Tiger.
Well, we talked about it.
Let's okay. I'm 0 for 0 into PGA Tour events. I want Tiger. Write it up.
Well, we just talked about it. So they got us. They baited us, and we talked about it. And I will say the same about Greg Norman. Like, do we have to keep platforming him? Like, why do we have to rehab him? He's in, like, the Times an interview. But, I mean, he's a guy who's done stuff in golf. I'm not suggesting but, like, why? Who wants more Norman talk? Do we have to let him launder himself now? He was on Jimmy Roberts' podcast show that's on Golf Channel now. It says, quote, I'm still loyal to the PGA Tour because I'm a lifetime. Like, we don't have to platform this. We don't have to put it out there. The notion, I respect, I'm loyal. I love the fact that I'm a lifetime member of the PGA Tour. He also loves Brooks coming back because it's free agency. He's fought for the players his whole life, his whole career, and he just loves it. 2 guys that we could just probably not have to platform anymore. Patrick Reed.
That's the thing. There should be a shunning, a thing where people can be shunned in the golf society.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't need to hear Greg Norman talk about how he's loyal to the PGA Tour and loves it. Like, we know that bullshit's coming. Like, it just doesn't have to be given any prominence. So, someone who is platformed and probably appropriately so. Patrick Reed talked to Evan Priest, I believe, and James Corrigan in the Middle East. He's playing Dubai as he does, and asked if he would hypothetically come back to live if he were to the PGA Tour, if he were eligible for the returning member program or some other pathway. He said, quote, I mean, of course, if it were up to me, I'd play everywhere. Right now, it's not even a decision. That was for 2022, speaking of the cutoff, and on major winners. So I definitely would have to think about it. If that number came down to 2018, he says the PGA Tour is, quote, the best in the world. He would consider returning. I would say that's positive press about Liv, but quote, the best in the world.
Liv is struggling.
I got some good rebrands, in my opinion.
I would love if P. Reed came back. Yeah. He'd be. Where would he rank with Bryson, Rahm, and Cam Smith? If you had if you gave everybody, where would P. Reed fall? So you have Phil's at your disposal. I assume he'd be number 1 for you.
No, come on. It's Bryson, Rahm, obviously. Reed might go to 3. Right? I don't know. They've been so quiet lately. The whole traveling circus around. Maybe it's just we've lost Patrick
I think
Reed.
just
We've lost
Dean's
the
not
sauce.
a fan of the changes to Twitter.
We've lost the sauce. It's not her town square that she once loved. Yeah.
I think that's what's going on. She's. I speaking of like, it's crazy that like to get to like just the latest feed, you have to I have to toggle it on every time I'm on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You open it up and you're getting scenes from like Minnesota or something. You just open Twitter. It's not. Yeah. You really got to jump to the For You. All right, what else do we have in news? Oh, TPC Craig Ranch, early reviews. Seems like Lanny Wadkins is cooked. Lanny Wadkins cooked here is basically what we're getting at. There was, I believe, Conrad Schindler, maybe he's still a tour pro. He was a tour pro. I'm not sure.
Say when you stop being a tour pro.
Yeah, so he went to check out TPC Craig Ranch. He's talking about like 2 to 4 foot ridges on greens, like unplayable. It's too freaking hard. So we have some early returns on Craig Ranch. Might make the Nelson.
I love somebody saying it's too hard when it was literally the easiest place.
I mean, Lanny might have cooked. It could be fun. I can't wait for the CJ Cup Byron Nelson at Craig Ranch in a few months. PGA Championship. Speaking of Liv not having the greatest momentum, the PGA of America. Derek Sprague has just resigned. The director of the 2026 PGA Championship, which is not far away. We just talked about the Masters coming soon at Aronimink, steps down. I guess unexpectedly, he says for a better opportunity or unexpected opportunity to stop moving around. There's Ryan Ogle is his name.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I've played golf with him a couple times.
Director at Valhalla, right?
I would just point out that the guy's life's been, that job.
Yeah.
You effectively move places for 2 to 3 years.
You set up, you live there. It's not like you travel in every other weekend or something. You live there with your family.
And he's got a young family. I think people are reading way too much into this as the PGA's or maybe a guy just wanted to establish roots in his life and decided, hey, I'm going to live somewhere for more than 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's necessarily like he's resigning because the PGA is in disarray. It's just not good timing either way. He probably got a nice opportunity and the timing was what it was. It's just tough when you have the PGA coming in 4 months and your head guy has to leave. So that's the latest. No other news. Bryson signs with Kalshi, which would be forbidden if he were to return to the PGA Tour. It's one of those prediction market deals. A lot of fanfare around Kalshi.
Kind of a ridiculous setup, the prediction market.
Poly market. Yeah. It's an interesting new world. Interesting, doing a lot of work for me there. But Bryson signs with them, and that's forbidden, I believe. That's a kind of endorsement deal that's forbidden on the PGA Tour. Not on LIV, though. Do we think those guys are coming back, any of them? We've got another 15 days. That's a big loaded question. Maybe.
I don't think.
Seems like there's some rummaging, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I think the only one that would be Rahm, but it seems like I don't know what he would have to do to get out of his deal, right?
Yeah. All right, that does it for this Monday live edition of Shotgun Start. Do you have anything you want to follow up on with the Bears? PJ, do you have any pointed questions to Andy about the Bears and NFL Minute? The conference championship weekend next weekend kind of stinks in terms of relatively speaking.
We got one of the best Amexes in recent history. So maybe the NFL, maybe the teams wanted to lock in to watch the Amex.
This could come back and blow up in my face, but I'm not writing Jared Stidham off yet.
Oh, I don't either necessarily, but I don't know. Patriots didn't look very good. The Broncos didn't look very good. I think the Rams, the Seahawks are a good story in my opinion. The Rams, they all have won it recently. The Patriots have obviously won a bunch. I don't know. Just Bears and Bills would have been fun for me. And
felt like the path was there for the Bears. Now I don't know if they could have handled the Seattle, but
well, it could be worse. You could be the Buffalo Bills. you're not the Buffalo Bills, so that's a win.
It was right there for the Bills. Now, I mean, I know they were very strong outside of their MVP quarterback. Now they don't have a coach, so you feel like this just keeps rolling. You're going to be back. There's no Jaden Daniels issue next year. There's no, I remember when Baker went to the, felt like we were going to the AFC Championship game. We're going to beat the Chiefs, if not for a Nick Sorensen headhunting that wasn't called in the end zone.
I mean, we had bad breaks, I think, in that game, in the sense of like, the touchdown was a good break, but we had a lot of receivers drop balls.
Loveland got hurt,
bad drops. Injuries. Our left tackle got hurt on like the last play of the last game, which, as you probably heard, we had a guard playing tackle, and, the defense played incredible, and then you just think about like the turnover, we generated more turnovers than any team. Didn't generate one in the 2 postseason games, and probably should have won yesterday's. So I don't know.
Are you really mad at DJ Moore?
No, I think it's just time. I think most Bears fans felt like it was kind of time for him to go most of the season. And I think that's where we're at, with Loveland, Dunze, and Burden. It's like, okay, we've got all these guys on rookie deals. We don't really need DJ Moore anymore. But we'll see. It would have been nice if he had a little bit better of a year and maybe left a better taste in people's mouth as you tried to trade him. But he gets paid a ton. I'm curious, I think another year of Caleb too and Ben Johnson, they're going to be cooking.
Caleb's electric. It's amazing. It's got to be fun. I mean, it's got to be a heart attack to root for it, but it's as impartial. It's fun as hell. He's electric.
He's incredible. It's amazing. Obviously, we had good injury luck this year too.
Rolling into 2026 season, early NFC North power rankings. PJ, you go first. I think I know where
PJ's going to go. Packers 1.
I was going to say, I don't know if anybody needs me to go first on this.
Where are you at? NFC North. A former employee of the Lions, a Packers
former
shareholder.
NFL executive.
Former NFL executive.
Shareholder of the Packers. What are your NFC North power rankings?
I would go Packers, Bears, Lions, Vikings currently. But if Vikings get a real quarterback, I would reserve the right to move the Vikings up.
Okay. Andy, how you feeling?
Assuming we get Max Crosby.
Oh, sure.
Is that a thing that's happening? Is that a rumor or like
that's like
some
the
guy?
Big rumor?
Okay.
There are some Max Crosby comments about like how I think it was basically like how awesome of a coach Ben Johnson is. He's obviously disgruntled. There's a lot of like, could we trade our first and second and DJ Moore and get Max Crosby kind of buzz going around?
Fernando's gonna love DJ Moore. He'll love him.
This is what DJ Moore's skill set is. He's a rebuild wide receiver.
So Bears, Packers, Lions for you. Where are you at?
Early. I can't in good faith put the Packers above the Bears.
You might say. Yeah.
I will admit the Packers kind of terrify me. That being said, they have no draft picks and very limited flexibility. So
they have no draft picks. They have the best defensive player in the league coming back.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, you never know how they come back, PJ. Yeah. I was a Bulls season ticket holder when Derrick Rose blew his knee out, and it was always he'll be back, but he never was quite back. So, and I think the Packers had tough luck with Tucker Kraft and
that's the way it
Parsons.
Goes. Yeah,
so I'll go Bears Packers. I think we've got a mental edge over the Packers. They literally melted down. Those are things that
is true.
Every single time they're in a tight game against us, they're going to think about from now on.
The coach, yeah, a little bit of turmoil there. So,
everybody was on NBC for not showing his welcome to NBC golf coverage, not showing the handshake.
Why didn't they?
Well, because there was a lot of McVay was talking about how good of a friend LaFleur is, and they didn't show the handshake.
I thought there would be sort of like a revenge handshake type thing from what the rival game member, and they didn't show it. I was excited about that. They didn't show it. So
Peach, the Bears fans are upset about Ben Johnson going for fourth downs. Can you please bring some reasoning to these fans that are completely ridiculous, in my opinion?
Well, I would say that as someone who has also been personally afflicted by Ben Johnson going for fourth downs in the road to a Super Bowl, I've been there. It's not fun. You would think maybe he would learn that field goals are good at some point. We still haven't gotten there. So there's always next year, I guess.
He got one of the touchdowns on a fourth down, though.
Well, that you didn't have a choice at that.
Yeah,
point.
there was. You had to.
Not running. Monungai
Oh, the other one, the
from
DJ Moore. Yeah.
Not running Monungai on the 5-yard line. Going with 3 DeAndre Swift touches is a take that I don't completely understand. But
Monungai absolutely destroyed the Rams defensive back who got injured.
He's an animal, and I don't understand giving DeAndre Swift 3 goal line carries in a row when you have that guy just waiting for you there.
Can I confess something though with you, PJ? Please. I'm going to disagree. I think DeAndre Swift was like our best offensive player yesterday.
I don't disagree with that, but he's not a goal line back.
I'm just pointing out he was, I think, our best offensive player.
Talking about going for it on fourth and all this stuff. Did any part of you think he was going to go for 2 to win the game there?
I did.
Yeah. I was pretty anxious as they were lining up the extra point.
I was so happy that he did the extra point, but because I didn't think I could handle going for 2. Like, I couldn't handle the stress of going for 2.
Yeah. I was stressed as they were about to kick for some reason. I thought they still wasn't.
That was a Cody Parkey flashback moment.
I think it's different. If Loveland is on the field for the 2-point conversion, I think you go for it. Without your best player, I feel like it's hard to go for a 2-point conversion.
I don't know what happened to him. I hope he's okay.
He was evaluated for a concussion, I think it was, in overtime, but he never came back out.
Frozen. Yeah. Anyways, we're getting. I've opened YouTube for the first time. I thought this golf podcast sure is great. Our first comment. I mean, we're at the 50-minute mark. All right.
You know what?
Fun season always, Doc. Chronicling our Bears.
Football minutes.
Browns and
Jets. Probably pretty much over.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're on to. I don't know.
This is a rare occasion where one of the 3 teams on this podcast had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. We'll see. Hopefully next year we're right back. But
fun run.
Never. As you say, you're the only one that has the even chance. So we're gonna be right back here again.
What are you talking about?
Shador.
Put him up.
Yeah,
put him up.
Hire this 30-year-old coordinator and
Shieldhouse.
It seems like the guy from the Jaguars, Grant Udinski, is hot right now. But yeah, Shieldhouse is. We've interviewed like 75 people. I don't know. Jim Schwartz has come around twice. I don't know. I don't know. Stefanski's with the Falcons now. Who knows? So
I like the comment here. Punch him back. Not every day you get an NFL exec on the pod.
That's right. That's right. All right, that does it for this Monday episode.
We got to think about the best shots that resulted in non-major wins.
With stakes, can't just be like, oh, that was like the greatest draw 7-iron for a guy that wasn't actually in it.
Will Zalatoris' putt that didn't go in.
Which one is that? Oh, at
Country Club.
Yeah. I was up there. All right, that does it for this Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. We will talk to you on Wednesday. A good week of golf coming up. Excited to talk about it. Talk to you then.